Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? It is 7:30 on the dot. Welcome, Stephanie. Welcome, Megan.
Welcome me.
Welcome, Mike.
Hey, hey. Michelle, I'm looking right now. The new guy from today, I hadn't added him, but I didn't invite him to the team call anyways. I thought we decided we didn't want brand new people on the team call. December 4th, 1918. What? I can text him right now.
Okay, we can have this conversation later.
Okay.
Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? I think she's still coming on.
Mm-hmm.
That's driving me nuts. Can you turn that on?
Looks like technology and storms are getting to us tonight.
Yes. Hope y'all had a good weekend and a good, holiday week last week. It was 2 weeks ago. But now we're moving right into fall. We're about to be falling forward. We're about to be changing our clock. Is that next month, Mike? That's in October, I think.
I think it's November 1st.
Ah, I'm trying to move it along, but
we're not adding any hours to 2020. We've all decided.
Okay. So I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thank y'all for being on the call tonight. I'm so excited because we are in the fourth quarter of the year. And I don't know if anybody's realized it. I saw something pass across Facebook a couple weeks ago that talked about how many weeks we have until Christmas. I thought I was going to throw up. I mean, I love Christmas time. But the only reason I thought I was going to throw up because I'm like, how did the year pass by this so fast? And we're already at the end of the year. And, I got stuff I want to do. And I know you guys do too. So I'm excited about the cooler weather. I'm not excited about all these hurricanes floating around in the Gulf Coast. But, it is what it is.
Y'all wait for Hurricane Alpha.
And Diane, I hope that you are staying high and dry in Nassau Bay, where the storm surge can come up high, as it did in Seabrook earlier today. So,
what I like is no matter where you live, there's going to be that one street that floods all the time, and that's where the newscasters decide they're going to show up. And you got the same places, like we got a bar down here, a restaurant. They said, they're showing pictures of their place, and it's like, oh my God, yeah, it's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet in there. They got some people walking around taking video. And I'm thinking to myself, like, y'all know this happens all the time, right? Like, they plan for it. Like, they put all the chairs on top of the tabletops knowing that they weren't going to get messed up. It's crazy world.
If y'all are just sitting around your house and you want to turn on your video, be my guest. You don't have to be talking and turn on your video. We would love to see your face. Hey, Jeff.
I was about to go topless. Take my shirt off like some of y'all. I know y'all just relaxing.
But welcome to
curls in your hair like Jeff.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to the call, Q and Malcolm. And, it's been a while since we've, had any meetings with the COVID, and we just really, when I say meetings, I mean face-to-face meetings. Let me clarify that, because we do meet every week on Zoom, and we love to meet on Zoom, but we miss that personal contact. I do. And so I just want to say, it's a great thing that we meet on Zoom, but we are going to look forward to having some boot camps. And Mike's going to talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to the end of the call. But I just want to share a couple things on my heart today with the team, and kind of as we move into the fourth quarter. Many of you, some of our new people really don't know a whole lot about how I got started and how maybe some of my struggles. And I think we used to talk about it every week. We would meet every single week. And I want to share that with you because it really is, it's something that, I don't know. I mean, I think the stories are important, right? I think, we got to remember where we came from, because when I first got here, I didn't know how to make an appointment. I did not know how to make an appointment. And I sat up in this room and cried, and I sat up in this room with 3 different phone scripts in my hand, trying to set appointments, kids running around at my house, making noises. My husband was trying to keep them calm. And then I went out and I bought like $600 worth of leads. And then I was like, oh dear, I got to make some appointments. I got to make this happen. And then I drove 6 hours away. I bought leads. I spent about $600, and I drove 6 hours away. And literally I had 1 day of training. 1 day of training. On my way to this little town called Brownswood, Texas, I put a CD in my car. That was back when we had CDs. This was in 2007. And I just listened to that same CD on the in-home presentation like 6 times. I mean, all the way there. And I was just trying to memorize it, And I get there, and I had to get a hotel, and then my phone didn't work. Imagine being a woman. I don't know, you could be a man, this could happen to you, but as a woman, it's even kind of scarier. Your phone isn't working. You're going to a remote place and your phone isn't working. So I go to Walmart. You remember this, Mike?
We got the phone at the office.
I called you. I called you because when I still had phone service, I called him.
I think you called me from the hotel is what you did.
Is that what I did? I don't remember. Okay, so my phone wasn't working, so I called him from the hotel. I said, what do I do? And he said, go to Walmart and buy one of those phones at Walmart. So thank God I had a credit card, and I went and bought the phone at Walmart. And I had like 15 appointments, y'all. I had 15 appointments. So these people were expecting me. I couldn't not show up. So I just had to go. And if I didn't know what to do in every single home, I called my manager just about. And I had stacks of paperwork in the backseat of my car.
This is like when you had paperwork.
We had paperwork. We didn't have iPhones. I mean, I had a little flip phone. And I don't know if you remember that Virgin flip phone, but I had that Virgin flip phone that I bought at Walmart. And thank God I had to have a phone. And then I had all this mounds of paper in the back seat of my car. We didn't even have a presentation manual. So we were just winging it. I had my notes on what I was supposed to do in the home. And I don't know, lo and behold, I wrote a whole lot of business that weekend. There was a lot that I didn't close either, but I just figured it out. So that was just one of my stories. I have a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, a lot of stories, but I think here's the thing is, especially in times of COVID, everybody feels like this is all a brand new situation, but it's not. time and time again, we have stories of our agents that have gone out and just did what they needed to do, and did it in with some fear, but also then conquered it. And that story was probably my favorite one, because it was that first real month. If you come to the office, I have the phone. I had somebody put it in one of these like shadow boxes, but I got the phone and I got the original bank statement from that first month, that showed over $8,000 in deposits, and I think at times we all need to have belief in what we're doing.
Now, people ask me when I talk about this, they say, were those leads or were those people that you knew?
No, those are all leads.
I didn't sell any. No one in my family wanted to purchase insurance from me.
I don't know.
Okay.
Sketchy stuff is what we thought. Yeah, I was not. I know we preach a lot about getting that first point, first piece of business on yourself. Back then, it was kind of weird, for us to think about that. But but that first month of that business going in and being able to turn into dollars was very transformational. It set belief that what we do is real, and what we do is compensated fairly well. Now you can't just go out and sell one policy. You got to sell a whole bunch. That's why she sold about 14, 15 policies and then sold a few more that month. But the majority of what we got paid that first month came from that very first weekend out in Brownwood.
Brownwood, Texas. And that's not the only story. I got all kinds of stories. I'll save stories for later, but I know that people like Jeff have stories. I remember this story, Jeff, when the very first appointment I took you on in Clear Lake. Do you remember that? A house?
I do. It was.
You want to tell them about that story?
Yeah, that was a good story. So I go into the appointment with you. It was your second meeting with the guy, and you always close him on the first one. This guy had the quotes and the literature from like 8 different agents that he had met with, and it all had his stuff all lined up on the dining room table. And you did your spiel, and he was need to think about this, and you had to run out back for a second, and you turn to me and you go, I'm going to close this guy, watch. Because he'd already said no like maybe 4 or 5 times at that point. Okay. And he came back.
And Jeff, he said no a lot on the phone.
Oh, I know. Well, he said no like 7 or 8 more times while in that meeting. And you still, because I was like, well, what are we still doing here? You just kept going and smiling and doing it. And I'll be danged if you didn't walk out of there with the application. I was just like shocked. I was like, man, I would have quit like 9 no's ago. I know. And then you told me later, because I asked you about that guy, and you're like, oh, he called up to change his mind like 3 times, and I had to resell him on the phone like 3 more times.
Even after I made the sale. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one of the keys to this business is there's a bunch of things, but I mean, you can't be little, Miss Shy that's, oh no, okay, go. It's just, a smile, agree, and then keep going. And that's what you're so good at. You're relentless, but you always do it with a smile, and you never elevate your tone of voice, or you never get worked up. Even though the client might be getting up here, you just keep it calm and level. And I'm Michelle.
But you know what it is about that, Jeff? It's just like it's the same way every time. I mean, I'm not a robot or anything, but I just figure out, I don't know, we just figure out why. We're just trying to solve their problem.
Right. I remember you told me that, and I'm like, it's not the same every time. Everyone's different. And, about 2 years in or something, you know what? It really is the same every time. It doesn't matter where it's final expense or where it's mortgage protection. That's just a way to get you in the house and start the conversation, figure out what they need, figure out what they can qualify for. It's the same thing in every home.
And I think it's truly just the passion of wanting to serve somebody. And of course, I had you with me. You were brand new. I didn't want to let you down either. And that was a big deal. And I think sometimes when we work in front of other agents, it's actually good for us. It's good for both people because like when we're dialing in front of other people, when you're watching us work, it brings us to a whole nother level of expectation to do the right thing in front of our agents and make sure we're teaching you the right way. Don't you agree?
It really does. You know, I mean, I don't like it when it's really loud in the room. There's tons of people dialing, but when you're sitting there and listening to someone else and they make one and then you make one or you hear what they said. Like I remember that one time before the COVID here, not too long, we're sitting there dialing one day and you set this appointment, you said like 15 words the whole time. And I'm like, what kind of a lead was that? You just told them you were coming by. And it was an older final expense. You're just like, I got your benefits. I'm gonna be out there next Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep, I'll be there then. You know, I'm like, how did you do that quick? And you're like, oh, with these older final expense, you just tell them you're coming. You know, you got it and you're coming. I was like, okay. So you learn stuff, even if you've been doing this for years. And that changed how I dealt with some of these, you know, these different, it's like if you do an old lead different than a new lead, because they don't remember it. They probably didn't remember it if they did it last week.
Katura, do you remember, didn't we go on an appointment together?
We've gone on a few together.
Was that fun or what?
Oh, it was totally fun because when we walked in, it was like, y'all were just like all friends. I mean, they knew your kids, you knew their kids. Obviously they, you know, you raised your kids kind of alongside writing their policies. So they knew they wanted to know where your kids were at college and wanted to know if they graduated. I was like, wow, they know a lot about Michelle.
Oh, that was someone I had seen before.
Yeah, we went on she had been sick and so he wanted to get some more insurance.
Okay.
And it had been the 2 years that she had a problem. So we were going back to rewrite them then.
Okay. Yeah, it is fun seeing old customers and it's fun meeting new customers. And I wanted this team call to be, I want us to get to know each other more. I want you guys to want to come and have a community here and know that we have your back. If you have issues or, you know, this is the place we want to inspire you to be able to go do more, be more, and have more. And it was that first year that I made over 6 figures. And then the second year, doubling that money. And then the third year, Mike got out of his job, you know, and that was really, really big time for us. It opened the doors to so many opportunities, you know, because when you're stuck in a job 40 hours a week, and he was stuck in more than 40 hours a week. I don't know, Mike, you want to talk a little bit about that, but we can talk about it now or later, but it was definitely difficult for him to help me in the business when he was working full time.
Hey, I have a good story, Michelle. It was my first appointment that I ever went on an old lead you gave me. And I said it and I went and, you know, I did what you said, which is go through the ATM. I found out what was wrong with the guy. And then I called you and I put you on the phone. And the next thing I know, you're like, okay, grab this application. You're going to write this one up for this much money. Grab this other application and write this one up for this much money. And I did it all. And then, you know, you hung up. I did it. He signed it. I left. It was in Brazoria County. And it was like, man, I just made like $2,000 on my first appointment. And I was amped up. I'm like calculating, if I make that much on every appointment, I'm going to make like, $600,000 this year. And my first couple appointments, I got you on the phone, and with the next one was kind of the same deal. It was a final expense. It was two of the biggest final expenses I ever wrote. And I just put you on, and then you did your thing. I didn't know what was going on. And all of a sudden, it was like, wow, I just had $7,000 in premium on two final expense. And man, those people, I mean, they were with us for 4 years. Okay, they finally let them go. I'm gonna go back and get their stuff back, but those all stuck. So I was so excited after those first two. I was like, oh, this is easy,
But those were old leads
Yep.
that I gave to you, and that's just amazing, and that is what can happen here.
And see, if we're sitting in the room together, okay, this is the other thing that got me, is I'd call these old leads and somebody would hang up on me. And you'd say, give me that lead. And you would call them straight back and be, this is the manager, and whatever, you just say your stuff. And now I've done that with agents too. Give me that lead. And you call them back. Because when you're new, you don't know what to say. You don't know what the replies are to different things. And you set the appointments, and then I'd go to them, and it was, oh, well, wait a second, whatever I said didn't work, and whatever you said, even though they hung up on me, it did work. So the problem isn't the lead, the problem was me. And you don't get that unless you're sitting in a room together dialing. And, it probably took 2 or 3 years till I was comfortable to do that, grab an agent's lead and go, give me that back. Let me call that person back. But that's just how it is. It's the weirdest business, and that you have to be confident and bold, and people want this, but it's a lot in inflection and delivery and just practicing, knowing what to say when they say something to you.
And we have a ton of talent in this room right here. We have a ton of talent, and we have all of these folks who can help you. People, Q, like Jeff and Stephanie and Janae, all of these people are here to help you. Not just me, because they all learned from me. They all learned from other people in the Alliance. And, I know, Stephanie, you have stories. I know you have some stories, girl. That girl, Stephanie. Now, let me tell you about this girl. Stephanie's been with us about 4 years. And she works as a nurse. And she works pretty much like she works part-time as a nurse. She really wants to do this full-time. But she'll just go drive by people's houses, talk about, tell us about it. Tell us about one of your crazy stories, Stephanie.
Which one?
I don't know.
This one right here?
Yeah.
No, we don't need to hear that crazy.
No, we don't got to hear that one. That was pretty crazy. We've all been, let me put her down real quick. We've all done drive-bys and gotten cursed out, or had walked in, got there, and then the better alternative is when you get there and you're allowed to walk in the house, whether it's a new lead or an old lead. And there have been times where I've walked in and written 4 people in one home that I didn't even expect to be allowed into.
But it was that you walked to that door. You were bold enough.
Yes.
So knock on the door.
And I always let them know, hey, my name's Stephanie, and I was in the neighborhood. I always mention I was in the neighborhood because you don't want them to think you just went out there alone.
I drove all the way out here for you.
Here's what I know, Stephanie. If you do 5 drive-bys, you're going to set at least 1 appointment.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done a whole day of drive-bys before and set 10 appointments just by drive-bys because I wasn't having luck on the phone. But it's also the verbiage what you do whenever you're there at the home. while you're doing that drive-by. You just let them know that, you know, you're there to help them, and that, you know, there's nothing else that you want out of that except for to help their family and their needs. And then usually if they don't let you in the door right then, even during this COVID stuff, they'll at least make an appointment with you, whether it's over the phone or Zoom or whatnot.
Now, Stephanie, when you're doing drive-bys, are y'all keeping your mask on? Are you masked up?
Yeah, right now, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. The main reason for that is because you don't want to disrespect the family. You don't know what their goals are or what they believe in yet. And then if they let you in, or even on an appointment, if they let you take it off, whatnot. Like I went on an in-home appointment the other day, and I had my mask on, and the woman opened the door without hers, but then she went to her room and put one on, and we sat at the table. But her children didn't have them on. It's just you don't know what they're going through or what they've experienced through all this. So you just want to make sure you at least start off with that respect.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially, I mean, as a nurse and a healthcare worker, I mean, that to me, I think that's just the bottom. I like the smallest thing that you can do. It's not hard. Just throw one on. You know.
You know what I started doing here just recently? Because I heard Megan Wood say this.
Who's that? Who is this? I'm kidding.
Because I did this on Saturday, okay? I had to go back and get this lady to sign a new app because she had COVID. And, you know, Mutual of Omaha, it has to be 90 days since they were first diagnosed. So when I first wrote her, it was like 2 weeks too early. And I didn't have that down pat. So I had to go back. But you know, I have my mask in my hand, I ring the doorbell, and half the time they have the little camera things, but then I step back like 10 feet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they can see you and you can talk to them and they see that you have the mask there. So you can put it on real quick, but they can still see your face.
So you step back.
That's a good idea.
Just so they can see your face.
So I'm not within, you know, COVID range.
Yeah.
So you're
Plus
not
I'm
the mask.
outdoors.
So you're not the masked man. What is it? What's it called?
Yeah.
Bro,
Jeff,
No, the scary.
the vendetta.
Jeff
V for
is
Vendetta.
Jeff is Jason.
Oh yeah, but that was
Oh yeah, Jeff's scary
different kind of
though.
mask.
Yeah, you don't want the bald masked man at your doorstep. That's for sure.
I have the Jason mask. It's not very good at stopping COVID, and it's kind of scary.
That's a really good idea, Jeff. And I would like to point out to anybody new that anybody who does door knocks, even with or without the COVID, when you knock on the door, you still always want to step back at least a few feet, and then maybe turn to the side to be in a greeting area, like greeting, and not straightforward to where you seem aggressive. So step back, relax to the side. Yeah.
I hold up you got to have the lead in your hand, you know, or sometimes I have it on the iPad. And if they got the camera thing, I hold it up to the camera and I'm like, hey, Don, or you know, Michelle, I got your information that I'm getting back to you with the information you requested. And then stand there and smile.
And that's even if you've tried to call them and gotten hung up on before, right? That's
the door
knocks.
That's
Absolutely.
the crazy thing about it. I was scared to do door knocks for at least 6 months. And then I did the first one and the door had a eviction notice. Now it was a foreclosure notice.
Yeah,
and
I've done that.
I heard him hiding inside the house when I knocked on the door. And so I yelled, I'm not the sheriff, you know, I'm not coming to repossess the house. And somehow to me that was so funny that I went out and did 20 door knocks that day. I thought it was hilarious after that. It was fun. But I was scared to do it, you know, until I got through that first one. And now it's just, I do it exactly like they have it in that video on Fitz's site.
Jeff, I know we might hear about this tomorrow, but maybe just give us a little bit of information. Not everything, but that home that you posted about in 411. Was that a door knock or?
No, that was a lead, okay, but this
Okay.
guy I hadn't called it right away, or I hadn't got a hold of him, and he'd already met with several agents. He has like, I don't know how much this house is. It's probably $1 million house down there in the historic district of Galveston. He's 78 years old, and he met with people, and they all told him he couldn't get mortgage protection. But see, that's where our training kicks in, is that we're not always trying to cover the whole mortgage, and it doesn't always have to be a term policy. And I actually learned stuff, because what I did is I talked to him on the phone, and because I said, you just got to be healthy enough. And he was like, oh, like he's got some bad health. The only thing the guy he had diabetes for a long time, but he's never had insulin. He's barely diabetic. And that is literally his only thing. And he wanted a bunch of coverage. So I did a smart UL, and, I told him, hey, we could pay the minimum and then cancel it. But it turns out when you're that old, first of all, it has to be full medical. Okay. So maybe not everybody could do it, but if you called in and you were at that appointment, one of us could have helped the person who was new. And, it turns out that, he really wants this, because he married a Swiss lady who's like 13 years younger. And he's got like a $300,000 mortgage, and he's got some coverage already, but he wants to make sure. I said, look, we're probably not going to be able to cover the whole thing. We could, but,
Hey guys, I hate to
for
tell.
him to pay $728 a month to get a $100,000 smart UL. And when he saw the illustration, that was even better, because at year 10, it's got $60,000 of cash value. They're really different when
There's ice cream in there.
So
Yes,
that was
I gotta
fun,
tell you.
because other people had been there. They didn't know. They didn't know what we teach, which is that we're looking usually at mortgage payment protection, or we're buying time, right? To have options. And, at least if he dies, she's not going to be out on the curb. She's going to have, basically I could pay for, it's only a 15-year mortgage, and he's trying to pay it off in 10. So it actually fit in nicely. And yeah, he can't do term, but if he, it doesn't have to be term. It just has to fit the goal that he's looking to achieve. And we were able to do that. And I'm really confident he's going to get approved too. So that's something
great.
Even a brand new person could have done. If you just do what we tell you, which is to call somebody when you're in the home, when you run into stuff you don't know. And I'll do it all the time. I'll call 3 or 4 times. Not very much anymore, because I usually know. But that's the great thing about our system is, you can have someone who's going to be able to help you.
So
even if
Jeff,
you don't know what to say.
so how much did you end up writing this week? You know how we used to get up in front of the room on Tuesday nights, the top producers, if you wrote more than XYZ number, you got up there and you said what you did.
Hold on, Jeff. Hold on. I want to say something first, okay? Now, I woke up Monday morning very sick. Tuesday, I went to the emergency room, misdiagnosed me. Wednesday, I could barely get out of bed. Thursday, I went back to the emergency room with another misdiagnosed. Thursday night, I woke up during the night, and Jeff took me to the hospital, spent all night in the hospital with me, got 1 hour sleep, and went back to work. I was at the hospital again today. And none of that will reflect in our numbers. I also had a birthday this week, passed a kidney stone. And I don't know how Jeff come up with these numbers, okay? Because I have been so sick, and yet he didn't miss a beat this week. Now tell him how much you did, hon.
Yeah, you know what? I actually pretty much, maybe I did maybe have an hour of sleep, but I went to that appointment Friday night at 8 o'clock, and I'd been basically awake for 2 days. But I'm glad I went because I got that big one. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 apps for 12,440.88.
Killing it. Oh my God, Jeff, that's awesome.
I almost fell over.
So sometimes when you're in the deepest, sometimes when you're going to see things happen is when you're in those deepest valleys, and whatever you want to call it, God, or whatever you want to call it. But that's when you can gain your most strength, is when you're in your deepest valleys. So I just want to encourage you, wherever you are in that valley or on that mountaintop, that you will, there's proof right here in this room that you will come out of it. And Keturah, thank you for sharing your story.
Well, I just don't know how he could pull out that much with me in the hospital half the week.
Yeah, I had no idea that Keturah was in the hospital half the week until just now.
Well, I called Mike to let him know I missed Tuesday, but yeah, I had not been feeling well, but I'd been misdiagnosed 3 times. I actually had a kidney stone, which it felt like about a 20, 30-pound baby that came out.
Hey.
Oh, it was bad. I've never had one before, and I hope I made myself watermelon juice so I never have one again.
But I don't want to go too long tonight, but if anybody wants to share what their goals are for the rest of the year, you jump out and do that. One of the things that we're starting to do on our AG channel on Slack is we're doing our daily commitments on that channel. So feel free to be inspired by that. Feel free to post a daily commitment so that we can help you reach your goals. If we don't know what they are, and sometimes when we say them out loud to our peers, it helps us work harder. I know for me, it helped me work harder this week. So that's my commitment to you guys. I hope to inspire you that way. And I hope that you'll join us on there. Jonathan and Megan Hurd, and all of you guys are welcome to post on that daily, and we'll help each other. We're here to lift each other up.
Is Megan Alleman, is Megan, it's not Alleman anymore. Is Megan Yakey on the phone still?
So Megan Yakey and Jonathan have their own team call.
Okay.
So you
I
guys
forgot what I told her.
You guys are the superstars on our team. And so we want to, grow this team, but whatever your goals are for the rest of the year, it's y'all's. I'm going to keep it open.
And then I'll let y'all know.
I have a big goal, and it's getting to your office more, because had I not gone into the hospital this whole week, I would have been more fired up, because I was in your office on Friday. Sat down with Megan Alleman for a few minutes. She taught me some stuff that I did not know on a policy that I own myself. And Megan Hurd, she's been helping, with our recruiting. So I want to come up to the office more and do more and dial while I'm there. My goal is to dial while I'm there. And that's a big deal for me.
Yay! That sounds great. We loved having people. We love having people in our office. The COVID has been a challenge, and so we're opening our office again, and we're just gonna all just be safe and make it work.
We go up. We go to another meeting room. We'll open. We'll just spread out.
My goal for the rest of the year, Keturah and I's, is we need about 20,000 issue paid a month to go to Thailand, but you know how it is. We need to write 30. Not everything's going to get approved, and then somebody's going to fall off. But I've got some good stuff in the hopper, and I like a challenge. And I'm going to tell you something. The thing you don't realize about these trips and why they're so cool. First of all, it's 10 times more fun if you're like going 5-star, 6-star, and you didn't have to pay for it. But if you're there with a whole bunch of people that, you know, and none of you had to pay for it. So you're all having a blast. That's kind of like being like in a high school group or something. You know, it's not just your family or you and a couple friends. It's this big, huge mob of crazy people, and you take over a country.
Are you saying we act like high schoolers? I think he just said
That's
that.
what he
I
just
think
said
he
that. He did just say that.
I think he
I mean, it's, you know, you can
That's
go
exactly
off
what
on
he
your
just said.
own, but like I was
And
looking
then he
at
called you
this-
crazy.
I was looking at some of the videos when we were on that bus in Paris last year. We were going by the Arc de Triomphe, and we were just making jokes and laughing and stuff. And I remembered, you know what? I was so sick that day that I ended up leaving y'all after the Eiffel Tower. I mean, I was dying sick, but you know, I still hung with it. And that ended up being an epic day. I killed myself that no matter what, I should have sucked it up and stayed with it, because you had your classic story at the Scottish bar, or is it the pizza place afterwards? And
Have a combination.
man, I would have done anything to be there.
So
for it,
I
but-
don't know
He
why Jeff's
doesn't
acting
remember
like
what
he's.
goes on these trips stays on the trips, Jeff. Remember, that's the golden rule.
So teasing them.
are y'all aware of the knife incident?
We are.
The knife
That's what I'm
incident. Oh
talking
my
about,
God,
the
what are y'all
knife
talking
incident,
about?
okay?
That's why I said it stays on the trip, because
Is that one of the stories I'm not supposed to hear?
That's
Oh my
why he
God.
said we were acting like high schoolers.
Oh, okay. Bunch of children. Children.
Maybe he'll
Well,
learn more.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Let's just
We do all these
it's
meetings
showing
where
up
we do
for
hot
rest,
spots. We're not all
okay?
intoxicated.
I don't even know why Jeff's acting like he's going, because I know I had a childbirth, but if I don't make it, you're babysitting in Houston, and I'm going with Katura.
I'll hire you a male nanny, okay? If I make a trip, I'm going to Thailand.
Oh, let's just all make it. How about that?
There we go.
Now that we know you're going to go, Jeff, we're going to be rooting for you. And we're going
Or
to
on your butt. We're going to be on your butt.
Yeah, we're going to crank it out.
be chasing you around with a knife.
That's
Yeah, we're not
probably
gonna
the only
let
way
have
you
any
can get through to
weapons.
him.
It's amazing we
Maybe
don't
touch
wind up in, like, you know, French prisons and, you know.
You
we
never
almost
want to
got
go to
blown
the
up
Vegas
by a
jail, that's for
volcano in
sure.
Hawaii. We were
Anyway,
flying in a
I don't-
helicopter hours before the dang thing blew its top. Okay, how crazy is that? And driving up to the volcano or the thing in the middle of the night, that was crazy.
We'll save. These are great stories, man. Let's. Anybody else who wants to share? I know Malcolm. We're glad you're here, and Diane and Janae. We'd love to hear anything that y'all want to put out there that you want us to help you with through the rest of the year. And if you want to send me a private message, go for it, or give me a call. Be glad to talk with you more about your goals, help you set some, set a schedule. So, hey, Janae. Okay, you see you're still muted.
I knew that. I was testing you. I have a lot of goals, and I'm just right now they're a little jumbled, so that's why I'm not offering up any. But mainly it's an activity thing.
I know you've been sick. Are you doing better?
I am. I have my CT scan tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Wednesday at 7:30 in the
Okay.
morning. And then after that, hopefully. But yeah, I can catch my breath right now, so I think things are getting much better. That's what I think.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then once I'm clear, I have a bunch of leads that should be coming in, and it'll really be about the activity and following up on them and incremental closes, setting weekly goals.
Next
So-
week, Janae, would you mind getting on here if you're on and just telling a story about the first appointment that we went on together? We can tell that next time.
Okay,
That was a really fun one too.
that was okay.
That was a fun
Absolutely. We had many good ones. You closed like 11 in one day. That was the second trip, but you
We
closed
just had
11.
But the first time we didn't, but we had fun.
No, you're talking about the lady near my apartment. Yeah, she was amazing. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited. It's so good to see you guys. What else we got, Mike? I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Just October 6th, we have a boot camp. It's going to be just a couple of hours from like 1 to 3.
Isn't he sexy in that orange shirt? I mean, I
Yeah.
bought that shirt for him.
I keep distracting her. We're going to finish this up here in a second because I got to go do some cooking as I was told. October 6th, we're going to do that from 1 to 3. Of course, you're welcome all day long, 3 to 5. We're going to do some dialing.
What day is it?
That's a Tuesday, October 6th.
October 6th, Tuesday. And we're going to be in our big room.
Yeah.
Socially distancing.
Yep.
Wearing masks.
Yep.
Being safe. We've got the sanitizer.
Yeah, I got the tuxedo hazmat suits. If any of y'all watched the Emmys last night, so they're coming in.
If anybody wants to fly in or drive in, okay, they're like Hugh and there's Malcolm. Malcolm's on the other side of town. We have some people in Dallas. We have some
Yeah.
other offices that are going to be having their boot camp, and they can go there.
Not that day.
Not that day.
Yeah, you gotta let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Calm down. All right. So it is on October 20th and 21st. We're having a Fitz Group multi-site boot camp. And, you know, if y'all remember, we did one of these a couple years ago. But we're going to have space here, space in Dallas, space in Seattle. You know, you're going to have to riot to get into there, I'm told. I don't know. And then, you know, we're going to have a couple
Riot?
other places. Yeah, it's a joke. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. That'd be Portland.
Okay.
In Seattle, they just got to steal them off and declare themselves a free city. Anyway,
Mike, that meeting was during a Houston hurricane too, remember? Or tropical
It was.
storm?
it was a snowstorm. It was a snowstorm is what it was.
Snowstorm?
Yeah, it was ice. We couldn't drive.
Oh, okay. I knew
Yeah.
it was something.
So we're recreating that. So watch out. I think Fitz is going to announce that officially tomorrow. Not to be confused with the short little boot camp we're doing on the 6th, but on the 20th and 21st of October we're going to have the Lampies. We're going to have the Roberts Group. We're going to have, Jeremy Patton. We're going to have all these leaders.
Philip Hebert.
Phil Hebert. Everybody in the Fitz Group. It's going to be a one heck of a day.
We're all coming together with this whole Fitz group.
So-
This feels so good.
Start planning now to get to one of those offices. Listen to what Fitz has to say tomorrow on that. We're going to have kind of a little bit limit on the size we got in our space, but we got multiple spaces. So if we hit the big space, we'll just spread it out.
And here's what we want to do. Make sure we get our new agents a front row seat. Okay. And if we have to get in the back or if we have to go virtual, so be it. But we want our agents to have a front row seat. So,
That's it.
all right. That's all we got, guys. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Peace out. No music.
No,
Oh, man.
that's it.
Okay.
Da-da, da-da, da-da.